Hi, I'm Tim from Whisky Whereabouts. Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. When Daniel asked me to talk to you about a whiskey that is meaningful to me, I thought about it for a little bit, and then the first bottle I reached for on my shelf was this one, the Ardbeg Corryvreckan. And sort of this whiskey is sort of near and dear to my heart, not just because of the quality of whiskey in the bottle, but sort of my experience encountering it. My love and appreciation of Scotch whiskey is intertwined with my experience traveling to Scotland and being just enchanted by some of what I found and experienced there. And the first time I ever had this whiskey was in the hotel bar at the Islay Hotel in Port Ellen on Islay when I first visited the island. And that hotel has been closed down because it has since been purchased by Ardbeg and is going to be reopened next year as a sort of Ardbeg themed boutique hotel. So if you haven't been, Port Ellen is walkable from the Ardbeg distillery. I walked it. It's a long walk, but it's beautiful, and it takes you along through the countryside and along sort of the coastline of Islay, and it feels like that experience walking there is one of those sort of magical experiences that you have exploring the corners of Scotland, outside the cities. There's magic out there. You don't have to work that hard to find it. The first time I visited Scotland, I completely fell in love with it, and it really accelerated my appreciation, my interest, and my whiskey journey. And the thing about the whiskey that comes from Scotland is there's a little bit of that magic that's tucked away around the country in the bottles of whiskey that they make there. So if you've been, you can bring some of that sort of magic, that experience home in the bottle. And if you've never been, you can still have a sampling of it by experiencing and enjoying the whiskey. And this is a pretty special core range bottling as far as they go. You know this whiskey already, but in case you need a reminder, it's a 57.1 near cask strength non-age statement whiskey from Ardbeg. It's non-chill filtered. There's no color added. It's bourbon matured, and there are French oak casks in the vatting. What are they? What is the ratio? We don't know. It's all very mysterious, but that's part of it, and I feel like part of what makes this whiskey pretty special. So what makes it so special, right? First thing is, at this ABV, it's pretty approachable. It's big, but it's not overwhelming, and it is what you expect it to be. It is a really representative, a really good sort of standard bearer for an elevated Ardbeg experience to me. It is smoky. It has that distinctive sort of lemon kind of citrus element that I usually associate with Ardbeg. It's a nice sweetness running through it. Honey, vanilla from those bourbon casks, but it's not overwhelmingly sweet. There's a meatiness to it. There's also a really nice new or maybe polished leather quality. And on the palate, it is all big. It's all rich. The smoke, that sort of, the citrus, the sweetness, it's all there. There's a red fruit element I find on the palate, more so than the nose. The smoke is turned up. It's smokier. There's a little bit of a coffee ground kind of offsetting. And this kind of continues and carries through on that huge finish. It's smoky, but it has a honey sweetness that's developing into dark chocolate, and as it keeps rolling, you've got that sort of coffee ground, bitter, offset with that honey sweet, with that smoke's just still kind of rising up. You know, I still have a little bit of warmth right here, kind of around my heart, and you feel like this is a just warm embrace after you've been walking along the water on the edge of Islay in a misty sort of Scottish drizzle, and you come inside by the fire. For me, this is a whiskey that can open some big doorways on someone's whiskey journey. If your whiskey journey so far has only been the foundational sort of 10-year, 12-year whiskeys, something like this, it's like you've been walking up a hill, and this whiskey kind of gives you a boost. And now you can finally reach the top of the hill, look out over the whole valley, and see all of the possibilities in front of you. When I pour this whiskey for people who are not that far on their journey, but have had some experience with peated whiskey, with Islay whiskey, they always respond positively. And it's like they've unlocked another gear. And they've had a glimpse of how rewarding continuing on the journey is going to be, and not just sort of being content with what they've had so far. But I've had bigger, better whiskeys than this one. I've had bigger, better Ardbeg whiskeys than this one, since you probably have too. So why do I keep it around, and why do I go back to it? Well, the other thing about this whiskey, to me, is that it's like, for the more literary minded, it's like the Proust sort of Madeleine. For the rest of us, it's like the critic sitting down to eat the ratatouille at the end of Ratatouille, right? Instantly transported backwards. And for me, when I nose this whiskey, and I have a pour of it, it is able to sort of transport me directly back to the warehouse at Ardbeg, to a hotel bar on Islay, because the magic of that place is in the bottle. It's in the glass. So here is to one of the many, but one to me, of the meaningful examples of experiencing that magic through appreciating Scotch whiskey. If you want to know more about me and what I'm up to, you can check out my channel on YouTube, Whisky Whereabouts. On Instagram, we're at Whereabaouts. And I'm really glad that you're here.